So what did the real estate market do here in the Jacksonville metro area of Northeast Florida this past week? Hey, I'm going to take a look at all those numbers. I'm looking at the active listings, I'm looking at the pending, looking at the sold, looking at new construction, looking at interest rates, and I put all that together for you in charts so we can track to see, did that bubble burst this week? Did it crash, or is it on its way back up? Hey, I'm in week 49 of my series Bubble Watch. That's right, this is the real Bubble Watch. 49 weeks have been doing this. Going to put them in charts for you. A lot of information, and I'm going to get to it in 3. Hey, I'm Tom Kerr, and I'm the host of this show, Bubble Watch. This is the real Bubble Watch. That's right. That's where I look at the real numbers in real estate and don't just rely on those old numbers from 2008 and try to figure out an algorithm to see if it'll work this year. Well, we look at the real numbers and put them together in charts for you, and that's where you decide, okay, if you should buy or you should sell. Hey, you know what? I'm just a regular guy who happens to be a real estate agent up here in the Northeast Florida area. And I serve the Jacksonville metro area and all the 9 counties around it. And we're going to take a look at those numbers and put them together for you real shortly. Hey, you know what? After watching this video, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Counters those thumbs downs I get, because some people don't like seeing the real numbers because they don't go with what they've been saying. Also, if you want to work with me or my team to help you relocate here in the Northeast Florida area to buy or sell a house, then just reach out at this phone number here or this email here, and either myself or a team member will get back with you. Hey, let's get now to those real numbers in the back of my MLS system, and we're going to start off with those active listings. All right, here we are, and we're looking at the current active listings up here in the Jacksonville metro area in Northeast Florida MLS, and there's 5,367. Next, we're going to look at how many sold in this past 7 days. Solds are 536. How many are contingent, taking backup? That status is 988. How many went pending in this last week? That's 756. How many went withdrawn? These are people that withdrew their listings. That's 79. How many people let their listing expire and didn't renew it? That's 152. And new homes sold in the past 7 days, 118. And how many new homes are active listed? 1,593 homes are available. Okay, now let's take a look at the foreclosure list. Okay, what I do here is I group together the foreclosed, pre-foreclosures and short sales that are in the active listings for sale, that are under those status. And those that are in active listing that are foreclosed status are 15. Those that are in pre-foreclosed status is 12. And the amount that are short sales is 16. Okay, what I do is I take all those numbers, I put them into an Excel spreadsheet, I thin it out, and just consolidate the data that we went over here, because when I import that sheet it has a lot of data. So I put it in charts so it's easy to follow and we can compare what's been going on lately, okay, all the way to week 1. And tonight maybe I'll just pan it back to week 1 and let you take screenshots if you'd like, so you can really see the difference here. And just to remind everyone too, if you'd like to be part of Bubble Watch Nation here and be advised when the new video comes out, which usually comes out on Friday evenings, sometimes it comes out on a Saturday, it all depends on how busy I am on Friday. Well, just subscribe and hit notifications, and then you'll be notified of when these videos come out. All right, before we get to those charts, let's take a look at those interest rates. Okay, we're going to look here. We're at Mortgage News Daily's rate 30-year. Let's see here, conventional fixed rate is, well, a lot of red arrows, okay? As you can see, we last week we were at 6.39, ended up at 6.67. So we do have a pretty good increase, okay, over this last week. Let's see now, the VA mortgages are generally a little bit less. They followed too with some up arrows, but then they had one that stayed flat. It was at 6 even last week, and we're at 6.24, so almost a 1/4% up. What did the FHA do? FHA, about the same. 6 1/4 it ended up with. We had a lot of red arrows going up. Last week it was below 6, it was in the 5s. No more, we're in the 6s. And that brings me to a headline. Right here, Compass CEO, home buyers have accepted 6% mortgage rates as the new normal. And as you can see up here, they have overall, it says the market is good, not bad, and not great. And buyers have accepted 6% rates as the new normal, and there are more buyers than sellers. All right, let's take a look at those numbers. Let's look at those price per square foot and see what it did. Remember, it flatlined for like about 5 weeks, then dipped last week. What did it do this week? All right, as we see, it stayed the same as last week. Last week it was 187, stayed at 187. And right there is those 5 weeks I said that it flattened out. And then always, if you're new to the show, then I always like to show this. Look how fast they went up and how slowly they're going down. But they are going down, okay? The trend has been down, but it hasn't been fast. It's been a slower pace. All right, let's look next at the inventory. All right, here we look at this inventory, and you can see that line is still heading down, okay? The inventory is just not going up, and this, and this is what I've been saying and been showing. And this is part of why, these prices don't go down as fast, because this inventory is going down and you still got the buyers. Something else I want to add here tonight, I want to look at this other chart. I'm going to add into the mix here. Days on the market. Notice the days on the market has dropped. Now, right here, okay, where that dot is, that was the beginning of the year. Okay, right there, January and it was increasing. Then it stayed high like this all the way until March, and now it's going down. And why is that? I've been showing you, and I've been talking about it, how I'm seeing more activity. Okay, with the more activity, we're seeing these days on the market going down. And also what really figures into that equation, and there's not a lot of them, but it's happening again, multiple offers, and houses that they're taking highest and best after it's only been on the market for like just a few days. Okay, so that really, when that goes into the mix with the ones that are on there for a couple of months or 3 months or 6 months on the market, it starts to bring it down. And as we get more of these multiple offer situations, you'll probably see this drop unless things turn around and go the other way. I don't know. Okay, let's look at the median price. Here we look at the median list price. Now this is right here, this is a 3-year. Let's look at this last year, and we see how the price, okay, right here it was like, okay, a year ago, and look how fast everything went up, last year, okay? And remember now, in May is when the interest rates really started taking off, and we started seeing a big change. But even then, back here, look, okay, we're there in May, but even up until August, the prices were still going up. Okay, only in September did we start seeing them fall. They're falling, and now look at that. Kind of just flatlines a little bit. We got a dip there, and of course we got this fall, but it kind of stopped right there. So we got to watch this and see what happens, and I'm going to add this chart into the mix. All right, now let's go and look at those charts, and what I'm going to do is the first charts I start off is our main chart, which I look at all those numbers which we just went over in the beginning. All right, here we are, active, okay, week 49, 5,367, so we see that trend, it's going down. Look back here from week 40, how that's steadily been going down, except for last week we had a little blip up of about 20 units. But again, we're back down, so the inventory still continues that downward slide, which we're seeing in those charts. Sold, 536. Oh, jeez. It went up. Okay. All right. I'm going to get some thumbs down. I'm sure of it this year. Probably lose some subscribers because this isn't what they want to see. Okay. And, you know, I mean, I'm just showing what it is. I always say, can we go into a major spin? Can it spiral? Can the prices? Of course they can. But we were told that at this time we'd be in a mess, right? It's not a mess right now. I mean, the market's still actually pretty strong. I'm surprised. In fact, I'm going to show you now. Let's look at MLS Advantage, okay? And remember back a couple bobble watches ago, I think it would be like 47, I explained what that is, and that's where these other MLS boards cross-sell over into here, and we may cross-sell there. So my charts are Northeast Florida's MLS, but there are some others in Flagler County, St. John's, and over there in the other areas that do cross-sell or show and don't show up in the Northeast Florida. So I'm going to that, and let's see what they sold in 1 week. We'll have all the houses that sold in the 9 counties up here in the Jacksonville metro area, including the other MLSs. So let's see what that number comes out to. And we'll see it up in this area right here. 762. Again, think about this, okay? People are amazed when I meet them, and I get calls all week long, you know, from folks asking about the market up here. And then when I meet folks in person and we talk about it, and they haven't watched the show, and I tell them about, you know, how many? Think about that. You know, over 700 in 1 week. 7 days, that's how many sold in these 9 counties. I think that's amazing, okay? To me, that's why I say we're in a correction. This isn't a crash. This doesn't look like a crash to me. All right, let's go back in there and let's look at these people that went under contract. Okay, contingent taking back up 988. Pending, those that went from contingent taking back up, the status changed to pending. That means all their contingencies went away. 756. Total under contract, 1744. Look at that, it jumped, okay? That's the highest, well, let's just scroll back. Jeez, 1744. From when we started taking it, in week 17, we started looking at that. All right? The highest it's been. Think about that. Right now is the highest number of people under contract, you know, in all these weeks. And these are people that are going under contract with today's interest rates and today's prices. So keep that in mind, all right? Again, I mean, to me that's strong. Now, because we've got such an increase in the amount of people that are under contract, will they all, you know, close? They don't all close, okay? Maybe about 20% don't close. So let's see what happens next week with the sales, how that affects it. But that's why I got these charts like this, so you can see too and compare. It's not made up numbers. These are the real numbers. All right, let's look at those withdrawn and those expired listings. All right, right here, 79 people withdrew. Last week, 71. Before that, 80. So it's about the same. Expired, upticked a little bit, 152. So a little bit more people left their listings expire. Could be some people that just had them priced too high. And also, what happens in that mix is sometimes, you know, because of the low inventory, they can't find another house to move to, okay? And so then they let it expire and they don't bother. But that also happens with the withdrawals, when the withdrawals will go up. New homes sold, 118. Well, here we go again, all right? But of course that goes in line with the total number of homes sold. Homes that are active for sale jumped up a little bit, 1593. So there's still a good inventory of homes to choose from. All right, let's look now at the next chart I'm going to look at is the foreclosures. Put that together and compare, because we were told that the foreclosure tsunami was going to be here at this time. Let's go see how big that tsunami is. All right, foreclosures 15. Last week they were 13. Pre-foreclosures 12 up 1, short sales up 1 to 16, total 43. I mean, it doesn't look like a tsunami to me, but someone could turn this into a headline, okay? What would the headline be? If it was 39 last week and now it's 43, that's a 10% increase. Whoa! Can you imagine it? Foreclosures increase 10%. And people are going to think like, the sky is falling. And but look at the real numbers. I'm just looking at them. That doesn't mean that next week it could be 100. I mean, it can't. That's why we watch this. But the reason I don't believe we're seeing that tsunami that we were told was going to happen is because everyone was going back to 2008, and they're saying, a lot of this is the same or worse. But this time around, more people have equity. I've seen people who are close to foreclosure, behind in the payments, and end up selling the house to get out of it, and they've got equity. So then they just go in and downsize, or they rent, and then they can take that equity. Some of them have. It could pay for a year's worth of renting. Okay, but it keeps them out of the foreclosure bucket. Okay, let's look at some more charts. Okay, how did people pay for those homes? Okay, 26% paid cash, 46% paid conventional, 15% with FHA, which was the same as last week, VA down a little bit to 11%, and others 2%. I still find it amazing that 1/4 of all home sales are paid with cash. And this shows also a little bit about people that have equity in their homes. And I know this for a fact that I've had customers like this that have come in, they've sold their homes in other areas of the country where things were overinflated. I know a lot of people that live up here thinks the prices here in the Jacksonville metro area are absolutely ridiculous, don't want nothing to do with it, aren't going to buy, just going to do whatever they're doing and sit on, and that's fine. I says, but it's still better than some other places, okay, in the state. And people that come from some other places, whether it's in the state or out of state, and cashed in on their large equity, have money to put cash down. And we do see that. So it reflects, I still think that's amazing. All right, let's look at some more charts. All right, here we look at the first line is homes that sold for $500,000 and above, okay? The percentage of the homes, all the homes sold that went for $500,000 above, 25%, 1/4. Homes that sold under list, 73%. Homes that sold at list, 16%. And homes that sold above list dropped to 11%. But the other numbers are still pretty close. The homes that sold at list went up a little bit, probably because more people are pricing their homes more realistically to the market, okay? But still, 11% sold above list, and it's amazing 25% are 500,000 and above up here in this market. All right, now I'm going to look at the last chart here is going to be the ones on new construction. Okay, new construction here, week 49, 77% sold under list. Homes that sold at list, 12%, and homes that sold above list, 11%, which was the same as last week. So that's quite a bit still selling under list. Now, a lot of people think when they see new construction, and the asking price, they don't think they can make an offer. They think, okay, that's the price. Yeah, but you can make an offer, okay? You can make an offer for, a lot less, depending on the market, where it's at, and what kind of activity the builder has. I'm telling you, I'm seeing building all over the place, all phases of construction. There is still a lot of construction going on with these new homes. And it all depends on where you're at. It depends on if a builder has inventory. If they've got one house that's ready to move in now versus 6 houses that are ready to move in now. That's going to play a factor into what you're going to get. But the fact is, you can make an offer on a new construction home and also get a deal on it. All right. Now, what do we got? It's time for houses of the week. That's right. I take 2 houses, okay? The first house we're going to look at and see one that sold for way off of list price, and it was a big deal, and what happened there. And the next house it's going to be one that sold above asking price, you know, and we're going to see what the story is with that. So I compare these two and I bring these to you every week now. So first off, let's look at that house that sold below list. Okay, here we look at this house. List price $361,000. Days on the market 215. Okay, that one there, the listing date was June of last year, June 24th actually of last year. Okay, they ended up lowering it over this course of 215 days. They lowered it to 273,000. Okay, ended up selling for 273,000 over here. 88,000 below list. All right, but it was on the market for all that time, a long time, but 88,000 below list. I mean, holy cow. Okay, let's see what they paid for it and when they bought it. Okay, right there you can see that's where they sold it for the 273, but they paid for it back at the end of May, 312,000, and then sold it for 273. All right, this was one of those iBuyers again. And remember I told you, I said when they bought, the ones that bought in May got caught when everything stopped and dropped, okay? And this is the case, like, was it like about 39,000 below what they paid for it, a loss. But you ever see that commercial that says, you know, where they got the Chop-O-Matic or something, they say, but wait, there's more? Well, this is one of those moments. Wait, there's more. It's worse than that. That's right. Because they gave $9,000 in concessions also on top of that $39,000 loss. So this was an absolute disaster. But somebody, you know, made out, okay? They got a good deal, all right? And to them, see, it didn't matter that the interest rates were higher, okay, because they got the house for a lot less than what they would have paid for it, you know, before. So let's look at house number 2. All right, here, this house went on the market, $350,000, on the market 14 days, only 2 weeks in this environment, ended up selling for $395,000. 45,000 above. You know, there's people that if I told them this, they wouldn't believe it, but this is the real numbers, okay? Okay, this is real. This is happening out there. And it's not the only one, okay? We're seeing more of them. Not a lot, not a lot. Like I said, it was like about 10%, but it's happening, okay? Now, this one is very interesting when we look at the narrative of this, what's in the description. Check this out. Okay, first off, look over here. The house was built in 2005. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, right here, right off the bat in the remarks, it says multiple offers received. All right, and what else does it say? The home will need some TLC before you move in. Investor alert. Two phrases there. TLC and investor alert. That means it's a mess. All right. There's a lot. They'll try to sugarcoat. Now, I didn't walk in this house personally, so I don't know. But usually when I see that, TLC, investor alert, now I never use those phrases in mine, but they're used quite common. All right, let's see what else. All right, this home is not in all capital letters, move-in ready, okay? What else does it say? A home that needs some love. All right, that's another one too, you know? All right, so it's 2005, and, you know, it's like it's saying like original stuff and things like, nothing's been done to this house, okay? Basically, you know, for those 23 years. So that's what they're selling it. And look how much it sold above the asking price. So was the asking price too low? See, that is a strategy. Put in a lower asking price and get people coming in. In fact, let me look at this. Here we got The seller received 19 offers and needs a few days to consider. All right, they obviously stopped the offers. Think about that. Okay, the house, was 14 days. Okay, well, that's when they decided to accept the offer a few days out. So it was even before that they stopped. So probably a week or something like that. Who knows, maybe 10 days. But 14 offers, okay? Multiple offers, 14 multiple offers. So you're trying to think of all the people that threw in asking price or 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 above and thought they got it. No, it didn't. And let me see, what did this one go for? What kind of financing? Well, right there, it was a cash deal, okay, as you can see. Okay, so here again, we've got the cash deals going way above list price. So the person that's got an FHA, VA, even a conventional at this point, doesn't stand a chance, especially if the thing appraises lower. I mean, they can't put, people with those type of, with a loan can't be going crazy with that unless they've got cash to make up the appraisal difference. Let's see what these people paid for this house and when they bought it. Okay, these people here bought this house new in 2005, $281,500. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that and put that into the appreciation calculator and see what happens. This $100 you see here, when it was on 2006 there, and that was a quitclaim deed. All right, when we look at the appreciation calculator, $281,500 for about 17 years, 10 months, 1.92% appreciation. Well, that's not much, but they're the original owners, and basically nothing was done to this house. There was no money put into anything, maintenance or whatever, or upgrades definitely in that time. So, but keep in mind though, think about this. Okay, we just went through, okay, we're seeing the prices going down from the chart, okay, and so things have slowed down as far as the pricing goes there. Even though sales are starting to pick up, okay, they weren't what they were, over a year ago. So they have lost from this slowdown and from this downturn. So there was a loss. But the bigger loss that they probably took a hit was they bought this in 2005. And anyone that bought stuff in 2005 paid top dollar, the highest price, and then they went through that real crash, okay, that happened. And my computer, I don't know why it's making so much noise. It probably can't believe what it's seeing either, I guess. So it's trying to figure all this out. So, but, I mean, look at the appreciation calculator again and the difference you see. You see what they bought it for than what they sold it for. At only that 1.2, it only made like 113,000 off of it for right there almost 18 years. Hey, you know what? These are the real numbers, like it or not. It's what's happening right now, and that's it. And you know what? This is week 49. Next week is week 50, and I'll see you then.